The term,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And Ms. Troxel, you were looking to get some information on the lease that you said that had been reached with the railroad.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if you can let us know what those terms are?
Okay, we entered into the lease with them September 1st, 2014. The
And which
initial-
railroad company is it?
Suffolk Northern Railroad. And it expires on August 31st, 2024
Okay.
for the initial term lease.
Mhm.
There are many renewal options, including an option to buy
Okay.
after the initial 10-year term.
All right. Okay. And are those options, do you know if those options, that is the options to renew, are those at the election of the tenant or the landlord?
Actually both, because they know
Okay.
that our intent is to purchase the property eventually,
All right.
but they wanted the initial, the 10-year lease, so.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Um, and just a moment. Now, you said that you didn't really know what kind of tenants you were going to have in the space until you got it built and you were able to
Correct.
see what was in the market. Okay. And your zone is M3. So there will be some restrictions on what, I mean, I guess as your users come in, there'll be some restrictions on what kind of office use you can have. There are some office uses that are permissible in an M3, but not all office uses are permissible. So you'll need to coordinate on that.
And that will be per individual tenant as they come in?
Yeah. Is that right, David? Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like the convenience store we had. It's office, that's right.
Hopefully that won't become a problem if you need to be able to coordinate. And primarily, that would be a function of the permit process with the zoning administrator and building code officials to determine what's required as each specific use calls for their permit.
Correct.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Wouldn't be as scenic as I imagine it is right now. All right, and yes, 2015-94, 1112 South Clinton Street, Laird Design Build LLC, care of Andrew Laird. Okay, Ms. Junker, Mr. Fogelman. All right, and Ms. Junker, we have this as an application to construct a second floor rear
Side.
and side addition, is that correct?
It's an infill addition, so it's
Okay.
a side infill addition to the rear of the house.
Gotcha, all right. I understand that there's been something worked out, but we can just get the folks who are here to, we'll get them sworn in, and then we'll go through staff reports, and then we'll put on the record what you guys need to, okay?
All right, thank you.
Mr. Fogelman, I'm sorry?
No, thank you.
Okay. If all those intending to give testimony can raise their hands and be sworn, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
And do we have staff reports?
First, we have a letter from the Canton Community Association. They write that they are strongly opposed to granting the relief sought by the appellant in this zoning appeal for the following reasons. One, the proposed construction of a second-story addition has already been completed, pursuant to which a permit was issued to the property owner application to replace the existing structure. Second, the proposed addition is in violation of the Canton Community Association guidelines and additions, which provide in part that rear additions and additions on top of existing additions should be no greater in height or dimension than the additions on adjoining buildings. Third item, the existing structure is a non-conforming structure, and the proposed addition exceeds the lot area, coverage, rear yard setbacks for the property, which already do not comply with the Baltimore City bulk regulations. The proposed addition is not in keeping with the general character of nearby structures. We also have a letter from Councilman James B. Kraft. He writes, as representative for the 1st District, I am writing to express my support for the community in opposition to the above-mentioned appeal. The developer has gone beyond the scope of the work permitted and is retroactively asking for the right to have done so. This is not an isolated incident. The same scenario has occurred on many other occasions throughout the 1st District, as well as throughout the city. We cannot set a precedent that it's okay to act first and get permission later. That is the end of staff reports.
Okay. Ms. Junker?
Yes.
I believe that you're saying that, I believe that the parties were speaking before we called the case, and was there any progress towards a resolution?
Yes, my understanding is, and I'd like to get specifics first out there. I use the term proposed loosely, but we're here for a side infill addition that is 4 feet 3 inches by 26 feet 7 inches.
What the understanding that has been reached between both parties is a reduction of 10 feet, which will bring the addition in alignment with the abutting property owner, who will be able to speak as well on behalf of the appeal. So the revised dimensions will be 4 feet 3 inches wide by 16 feet 7 inches, but the real dimension is going to be determined by being completely in alignment with the abutting property that has the concerns that is being put forth to the board today.
Okay.
So if we're off by inches, we want to make sure that it's not what's on the record, it is what is in alignment with the abutting property. Additionally, I'm sorry.
And which abutting property? 1114 or 1110?
1114.
1114.
Okay.
Furthermore, the deck that was built is also going to be receded by 2 feet to bring it in alignment with the edge of the house. The deck on the plans, the deck that was built, the deck that was built was not in compliance with the permit plans. It is now in the rear of the house. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that the end of the deck and the end of the house are going to be flush to the property that exists at 1114 South Clinton.
Was that the sum total of the resolution that's been worked out?
That is the sum total of the resolution that's been worked out.
Okay. And Mr. Fogel?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Members, I have Mr. Daniel Tracy, the Vice President of the Canton Community Association, here today. Based on our discussions, the Canton Community Association is reluctantly withdrawing their opposition to this particular project based on the amelioration of the substantial problem. And Mr. Tracy, at this time, he's been sworn. If you could make a statement.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm that we're reluctantly doing this because our primary interest is the quality of life of our residents. And since they've worked out an agreement satisfactory to them, we're going to. But we do want to note for the record, as Councilman Kraft has said, commencing a construction and nearly completing it before you apply for the waivers that you need is something we really want to resist. There is also, throughout the construction process, a disregard of the complaints and concerns of the neighbors on either side. Again, that's not something that's within the purview of the board, but that generated a lot of concern too. But with those comments, yes, we would withdraw our formal objection.
Okay.
And I am here representing Mr. James Potter,
Yes.
the abutting homeowner, and he wishes to make no statement at this time.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Ms. Junker, once you are able to get the measurements done, will you be submitting a revised drawing?
To the BMZA, if that's what you're requesting, we can do that to make the record current. But additionally, we'll have to amend the permit. So
Yes.
there will be all sorts of documentation that will be in alignment to the resolution.
Okay, all right. Okay. I'm satisfied. Anyone else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good to see you.
And since you're here,
Thanks.
you're also here on 2015-99.
That is correct. And
Okay.
Mr. Tracy's going to stay and speak
Okay.
in front of the board.
All right, we'll jump to that now.
Okay, thank you.
Calling case 2015-99, 3303 Donald Street, Andrew Lair. Okay, you've both already been sworn. And Ms. Junker, we have this as application to construct a two-story rear addition with first and second floor rear decks and rooftop deck. Is that correct?
Is there a second floor? First floor? Give me 1 second. I am so sorry.
That's all right. Take your time.
I came in the middle. Thank you. So there's a proposed rooftop deck, and there is a proposed first floor rear deck. And the
Okay.
staircase will go from existing grade to the rooftop deck.
Okay, so
There is no second floor, right,
rear
that's
deck.
correct.
Okay. So this,
We're not building a deck with a house attached.
The drawings reflect
It is accurate, yes. I just wanted to make sure. Thanks. If I'm going to speak it, I'd like to believe it.
all right. Do we have staff reports?
Yes, we have a letter from the Canton Community Association indicating that they strongly oppose granting of the relief sought by the appellant in this zoning appeal unless and until the applicant will agree in writing with the association to take all necessary steps in the construction of this project to positively minimize any adverse impacts on neighboring properties. That is the end of the report.
Thank you. Okay, and Ms. Junker, similarly, I think you said that there was a resolution reached with the opposition in this case?
Yes, the resolution is more a comprehensive discussion of expectations in development currently and going forward, because there was no clear-cut concern or opposition to the proposed development.
Yes.
It's the disrespect for the process that has been the sensitive issue. The discussion was lengthy and detailed between the property owner and Mr. Tracy representing the Canton Community Association, not just in regard to the previous appeal that we heard, but into this one. And communications going forward, respect and adherence to the preferred approach has definitely been received and going to be complied with going forward.
Okay. And Mr. Tracy?
Yes, sir. We don't, we did have that discussion. It's acceptable. We won't require something in writing. I think the message has been delivered. And we recognize that that's really not within the purview of the board in any event. We have other avenues for addressing those types of concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Tracy, thank you. Okay. 2015-102, 402 Grundy Street, Marguerite DeMemo? DeMemo?
Yeah,
Hi.
I have some paperwork. I don't know if everyone gets one or I bought a few.
Sure. How
It's
many
just
do
a
you
little information of what I'm gonna go over.
have? Okay.
I think we have to.
All right. All right, Ms. DeMemo, we have this as an application to add permanent makeup tattooing as accessory to an existing beauty salon use. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that it's definitely adding an accessory to an already existing business beauty salon where I'm already open and offering other services.
Okay.
And,
We can get into that.
Okay.
All right. You
Sorry.
can raise your hands and be sworn, please.
You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have staff reports?
We have no staff report.
All right, Mr. Memo, why don't you tell us about what's being proposed here?
Basically, a lot of people have the wrong idea about permanent makeup because it's a fairly new service that just came about and is getting more popular. It's in the same family, I guess you could say, as a tattoo, but it's nothing at all. The clientele, everything about it is completely different. And on what I've just given you, it's traditional tattoo versus permanent makeup. It just gives all the facts and information about the size of the needle, the depth of the skin it goes to. There's pictures on the third page where it shows you. Permanent makeup just basically scratches below the dermis, where a tattoo will actually go down to the right down to the very last layer of the skin where there's blood involved. So it's a very, very different, it's more of a cosmetic procedure, if anything, and most of my clients will be cancer patients who have, chemotherapy, can't get hair anymore, so I put eyebrows on them. Mastectomy patients where I'll be applying an areola for them. So it's mainly cosmetic. It's nothing with the body. I'm not going to be giving tattoos. I'm not an artist. I don't draw. It's not as deep. It's not as serious. The inks that I use, you can actually go into an MRI with, whereas a tattoo ink, you can't. So there's many, many different things on here where it just gets into why it's very different. And it can be removed. It's not permanent. It does fade over the years. And that's basically why I'm here, because I don't think that it needs to be under a tattoo shop, because that's not what I'm offering. It's more of a cosmetic procedure.
This is one of those times when the zoning code was written in
87.
72.
Oh, I thought 87.
And at that time,
Is it okay if I set this here?
Sure, as long as I'm not on the microphone. But the point is that back then, these kind of techniques and technologies didn't exist. So the best fit for what you're talking about is what the zoning code would define as tattoo parlor, even though it's not technically
Yeah.
tattooing.
I spoke to Mr. Vale, and he said that.
Mr. Veal?
Am I saying it wrong?
Veal.
Mr. Veal, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I spoke to him, and he did say that if you guys agreed to put it under an accessory to the tattooing under the business that I'm already doing, that he would be okay with that. I'm not sure if that's.
And how we have it on our data sheet, as I said at the beginning, was that that the request is to add permanent makeup tattooing as an accessory to the existing beauty salon use. So we do have that concept incorporated in there, and that's what we're looking at, whether to approve or disapprove.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us about your existing business?
Right now, I'm currently offering spray tanning, and I've been open for spray tanning, eyebrow threading, which is a form of waxing, except you're not using wax, you're using a string to remove the hair. You might be more familiar than them. So I'm doing that to remove, yeah.
Mr. Bonaventure got his eyebrows
I don't
threaded
think
together.
So that is a form of hair removal that I'm doing. I do offer manicures as well, and I do makeup. I've been an esthetician since I was 21, so about 16 years now, and I've been doing makeup, a lot of weddings. A lot of people come in, they're getting married to do their spray tan and their makeup, and now this is just an extra accessory I would like to add, because I do have a lot of cancer patients that come in which are getting spray tan because of the sun, and they have a lot of concerns and cosmetic reasons that they'd like to get this done, which is why I went to school for it, and I am now licensed and certified in it.
How much of your business would be taken up with the tattoo portion of it?
Well, basically, that was one of his concerns, was how much traffic it's going to be bringing in. I think it's going to be actually less traffic, because when I'm working on a client, they have to come in for a consultation before I can do anything. I have to make sure that they're, obviously healthy and not on certain medications, don't have certain diseases, things like that, so that they can actually get this procedure done. And then once they do come in, it depends on which procedure they have. But it can take a few hours, because I let them numb, I let them get numb for at least 45 minutes, so they're relaxing while they're doing that, and then when I start the procedure, I like to take my time, because it is your face, and I do want to make sure, like mine are done, my eyebrows are done. So I want to make sure that it looks good, so it can take time, so it's not something that you're rushed into, especially if they're doing a full face, or if they're doing their areolas. So that being said, I might just do one client a day. Now, there could be other times where I'm doing 2 clients a day. Normally, with my spray tanning business, I'm only doing a few clients a day. So it's just, it can fluctuate. I'm only appointment only. I'm never going to accept walk-ins. It's all going to be appointment only based.
Do you expect the beauty salon part of it to continue to be the main part of your business? Or do you
No,
see
I'm
this-
hoping that this is, because it's just something I'm really passionate about. I love doing it, and I can help a lot of people. And it's obviously, it's going to take more time to do one client than it would be to do 10 spray tans, and I'd like to focus more on that and working more with the cancer patient side of it.
Looking at the aerial photograph we have of the space that you're in, looks like it's a 3-story building here.
Yes, sir.
We don't have a layout of the
I actually was
salon
going to
location.
bring one. It's the first floor of my house.
Okay. All right, so this is your house?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what how wide your house is?
16 feet, 17 feet wide?
Sound about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how deep does the house go back?
Well, half of the first floor is a garage and the other half is the business, so it's
Okay.
about, I would say, 17 by 15.
Okay, so it's a kind of a small space.
It's small, but it's big enough for,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, and the, so you're not going to be able to do spray tanning clients and makeup tattooing clients at the same time, right?
No, I would never do it at the same time.
Okay.
I
And-
wouldn't be able to physically. I'm only going to be working on one client at a time.
Okay.
And it's a separate room that the spa chair and everything is in.
All right. Getting back to the accessory issue, I guess maybe that's where we should have started. An accessory use is defined under the code as, it says accessory use means a use or structure respectively that 1, serves and customarily is incidental and subordinate to the principal use. 2, is subordinate in area, extent, or purpose to the principal use. 3, contributes to the comfort, convenience, or necessity of occupants, business or industry in the principal use. And 4, except for in a planned unit development, is located on the same lot as the principal use. So it sounds like for some of those, that's not going to be an issue. Now, there is sort of a dividing line between your principal use and an accessory use. So if the makeup tattooing use was going to be accessory to the beauty salon use, that would mean that it wouldn't be able to be as dominant the use or primary or principal use. You wouldn't,
It wouldn't be my main focus.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. And so the main focus, as it were, would be
Would still be the spray tanning and makeup.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. And so, if we were to approve your application, that would be on an accessory basis. It would be within those bounds.
Okay.
Did you have anything further before I turn to?
I don't think I left out anything. I hope not. But he's gonna tell you what. But we already talked over that, so I guess he goes first. I don't know how this works.
Okay. Well, before the hearing, you two spoke presumably?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And sir, your name is?
Jerry Ciskowski,
Can you spell your last name?
Cietzkowski.
Okay. And were you able to work out a compromise or an
Yes.
agreement? Okay.
One of the main things I think that they were concerned with was that the original post that I had to post in front of the house said tattoo shop.
Mhm.
And, a lot of people don't realize permanent makeup is very different. So
Sure.
he, being many, I'm sure others, felt the same way. So I just talked to him about that. And he was just mainly concerned that I was going to change the sign to say tattoo shop or ink or any kind of sign that promoted tattoos, and that's not going to be the case. The name of my business is Makeup Forever by Bella, and I'm not even going to put that. There's never going to be a sign that says anything about tattooing, ink. That's never going to be an issue. I wouldn't want that for myself anyway. Another concern that he had was the hours. For spray tanning, I'm pretty flexible because some people will just call at the last minute and want to spray tan for a vacation or a wedding or just, so I'm pretty flexible with that, but I agree that the hours for permanent makeup and the other services that I offer will be 9 to 7 Monday through Saturday, and I'll close on Sunday. Normally I was open on Sundays. Not that I would have a client every Sunday, but I don't mind closing on Sundays. And another one that he was concerned with, if I sell my business, would somebody else be able to take over and now have a tattoo shop, because that's the way it's, registered. So I agreed that if I ever did sell my house, I would not sell my business with it. I would be taking that with me. So I don't know if did I cover it, I think?
Yeah, that looks like most of it. I was worried about parking, but she's saying her volume's gonna be lower, with this. So if that's true, then, that would take care of that.
We have a parking lot across the street that's public parking as well. It's the Walgreens parking lot. This side of it is the Walgreens, but this side of it is public. Anybody can park there, and plenty of streets. But like he said, it will go down, it won't go up.
Okay.
And I only take one client at a time, so it'll never be, I don't even allow people to bring people in to watch me do what I'm doing, because I paid a lot of money to go to school, and I wouldn't want anybody, there's a lot of nail salons out there that do this illegally, and I wouldn't want anybody trying to learn what I paid a lot of money to go to school for. So, and for that reason, people would come, and I'm not going to have a big group of people waiting in the waiting room or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the tattoo thing, like, we weren't sure what the difference was, but that got cleared up with the traditional tattoo and the permanent. And then a sign, she said she would leave her existing sign up and not add any others.
And I will never be offering traditional tattoos.
And then the hours of operation, like she talked about, we agreed on that. And Wyatt was here, but he had to go to work, so basically he had the same concerns. Basically me and Wyatt were concerned about our home values, like if we want to sell in 5 years, we don't want to lose, 20% because
Sure.
of something like that, so that was the biggest concern.
All right. Okay, any questions? All right. Thank you both.
Did you guys want these? No?
Sure.
Okay, there's just extra, they're just like information on it, and then there's also,
We actually already have it.
okay.
You got one for the record?
So do I call tomorrow, or how does?
You can do one of two things. You can call in the morning and find out how we ruled.
Okay.
If you wanted to hang out for the next 15 minutes and hear us deliberate and see how we ruled, you can
I
do
think I'm
that
gonna
too.
hang out. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
We
Sorry.
won't hold that against you. All right, and we're off the record. All right. Which ones do we want to talk about? Um, Yeah, and particularly, I asked him about what was in there, and he said that it was completely, whatever had been in there had been completely stripped out, removed, and it's just an open, empty space. Which I think at that point, there's a presumption of abandonment, and
When I first looked at this, I took this for another property, like 2 blocks up, that was in front of the board for, like a night club or something.
Yeah, I remember that one.
This is not that property.
Mhm.
The only thing that our records show is that it's always been some kind of automobile-related business.
Yeah.
Could have been a waiting room or offices or whatever.
Mhm.
And that's the problem I had. I mean, if you take a look at the picture,
Yeah.
because if this thing, if we say it's abandoned, it reverts to R6.
It's pretty much nothing to do with it.
You can't, there's nothing you can do with it.
We've had cases where there's multiple uses on a non-conforming site,
Mhm.
and one particular use may be abandoned longer than 18 months.
Yes.
Year. But the adjoining tenants have been occupied, and the non-conforming status of the property itself is still in place. And that's the way the board has treated similar appeals like that in the past. There was one on North Avenue, I think, out in the Walbrook area. And a competitor was upset that we approved it, and they appealed to circuit court, and they tried to raise the abandonment issue. And the court upheld the board's decision to approve the non-conforming. In that type of case, not the whole property is abandoned.
That's true. Yeah, so well, there's a prior appeal last year, used the premises for auto repair garage, and auto sales studio, fish market and restaurant.
Yeah, I saw that. There's a lot of uses going on there.
Oh, that is the one I was thinking of. Is that the same?
I think I do remember there was one, I think it was Edmondson Avenue, where we had a similar kind of issue. And I think that is what we did with that one, because the there was a little bit more testimony in that case, because they talked about the difficulties they had in trying to lease out that one space. And there, as I'm remembering it, the concern was the same, or that that there wouldn't be another available use to go into the space because it would revert. All right.
The case you were referring to from last year, the board approved the auto-related businesses. Did not approve
The fish market.
the fish market. And it was also, they wanted the recording studio. And that triggered all kinds of parking issues. So what the board said was they could continue with the auto repair related businesses, but they did not approve. I don't recall what portion of the building was what part of the problem.
All right. And then I had a circle around 2015-76. It's one on Pinckney Road. It's the one where they're building over top of the front porch. Yes. Because the uncovered porch projecting in doesn't count towards the, is it lot coverage? And then, but once you add the enclosed second floor, it does. And I guess the thing that I was looking at was that, it's, well, these variance issues always are problematic. But here, it was for, it basically was to, he said that it was so that he could move his family over, but if you look at how the bedrooms are lined up, they're only really splitting the rear bedroom into two, and then they're making the need to build out over the porch is because they're enlarging the front bedroom into a master bedroom suite.
Yeah, they're going 3 to 4 bedrooms, aren't
Well, there's already 3, and then they're splitting, how they get to 4 is they split the bedroom in the back into 2. And then that front addition is the consequence of enlarging the master bedroom into a master suite.
Oh, I see what he did, yeah, you're right. You're right. So it goes from 3 to 4, but.
Yeah, and to go to 3 to 4, they're splitting that, I guess, bedroom number 1 in half.
So that accomplishes the bedroom two.
That's right,
That was-
yes. I mean, I get it, he's,
The properties that on both sides, other properties in that block are enclosed, the front porches are enclosed. I don't know where if they had board approval. But they may have predated the code. But what we're supposed to do when the properties that are developed on either side within 200 feet, we're supposed to if the front yard is different than what the required front yard is, we're supposed to take the average. So if the properties on either side project as far out as where this property is going to project, it really doesn't require a variance. Because the average
Yes.
may allow it. But that is something that should be done at the zoning administrator's level, and I'm sure they didn't even know about these properties, so they didn't.
Well, he even said that he looked it up, he couldn't find it.
There was like one of them that had, there was a record of it. But I wanted the board to be aware of that fact, just so we can factor it in the decision. So if these properties wanted to go up and build over their existing enclosed space, they wouldn't be sent to the board.
Now, how much enclosing needs to be done in order to count it as enclosed?
It has to be,
Because in looking at the aerial, I mean, they all have the same look. They've got these front porches that are largely, I mean, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and even the couple across the street, I can see they all have the same look, which is that it's a
right.
partially open porch with like a picture window space without a window in it, and then 2 panels on the side, but it's otherwise enclosed.
It's,
So if that counts as being enclosed, then yeah, the whole issue is moot.
well, only the portions that are physically enclosed count as being enclosed, but like in this case, this is open.
Sure.
And if you wanted to, theoretically, if they wanted to screen it in, they would consider that an enclosure and send it to the board if this didn't exist. So in order to count it as enclosed space, it has to physically be enclosed, not just covered with a roof and column. It's like this house here, that's totally enclosed.
Right.
Yes, that is.
This one here also, except with a little area here. This must be a kitchen because they don't have any windows. But over the years, it looks like many of these properties have enclosed it.
Okay.
Can we talk about A and 4 for a second?
Sure.
There's gotta be something that we can do there. It just makes no sense.
How do you, I mean, I agree with you, but how do we get there?
Yes. I'm all ears if there's a way to get there.
Well, business schools are permitted in a B1 commercial schools aren't,
Yes.
right? Is this a business school or?
Right, what's the distinction? I mean, I looked for
Now, they list
some
driving
clarification.
schools separate because of the driving component, because many of them will have students that get in the car on site
Right.
and they practice parking when they go out.
Yeah, that I understand.
Sure.
So if it's without that component, I think we could label it under business school as a classroom only. That's one suggestion.
You know, if we think that's affordable, I'm fine, because it makes no sense, I agree with that.
Yes.
And it's literally just the classroom component.
And we can limit our approval to just the classroom component.
It says schools are fine, business, it says offices, business, you know, professional. There's gotta be, there's gotta be a way to put that square peg into that round hole. It just makes sense, the distinction that handicaps us. Just-
And neither are defined.
No, there's
Right.
no
Well, that gives us a
clear
little leeway.
Well, then, okay.
distinction between the two.
Okay. Well, then that makes it easier then.
Call it a business school.
Okay.
We could contact her, because
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
sure.
definitely left with a different
Yeah.
expectation.
She'll be happy to get the written decision.
Yeah, we ought to call her,
No.
because she may make a business decision
Yeah.
between now and by the
Yeah.
time it goes
Cancel,
out.
Yeah.
pull out.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, any other?
Unless you want to talk about the consents.
No. Okay. All right.
I've taken up enough billable time today. I gotta
Yeah.
go make some money.
I'm with you. Okay. You ready, David?
I think I can show you my nonprofit sharing statement.
All right, 2015-13, 200 East University Parkway was postponed. 2015-54, 3601 Chestnut Avenue was by consent with planning department conditions. 2015-58, 2121 South Clinton Street was by consent with planning department conditions. 2015-75, 6004 Park Heights Avenue was by consent with the letter they said wasn't, I guess weren't really, I guess, all zoning conditions. Though I guess for our purposes, the big one was that it's limited to 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess the biggest issue was that that not all the conditions were necessarily enforceable from a zoning perspective. So if we incorporate the letter as part of our decision, then the only parts that are gonna be enforceable are the parts that concern our jurisdiction. Okay, does that work? Okay.
Except for the concession,
Shouldn't-
the details aren't accurate.
Again, Martin, I'm sorry.
I said if you add the planning conditions that's recommended, you would control permitting modular structure placed on the property.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so with the conditions stated by the planning department and incorporating the letter of support from the community association. 2015,
Hold on. There was some concern that the letter doesn't accurately reflect what they agreed to. Is
Well,
that?
it's the details, because they got the address wrong, and they got the whole permanent versus temporary wrong. The letter wasn't accurately written, and we're committing to something that's not accurate.
Door,
2004.
2006. Right.
It's those nuances, so
Gotcha.
to restrict the permit to the letter
Mm-hmm.
of the letter,
I think we can deal with it and only draft the decision.
I know you can, I just wanted to make sure that it was understood.
Okay. 2015-76, 3917 Pinckney Road. I can't, I'm a no.
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
2015-78, 3415 Winds Falls Parkway was by consent. 2015-79, 3617 Wilkins Avenue was by consent with planning department conditions. 2015-80, 830 Holland Street wasn't posted. 2015-81, 2000 North Calvert Street was by consent. 2015-83, 6812 through 62 Reisterstown Road was by consent with planning department conditions. 2015-84, 4905 Frankfurt Avenue. I'm a yes with the restriction that that be limited to classroom only portion of the driving school, and with the driving school understood as a business school.
Yes.
Yes.
2015-85, 5313 Reisterstown Road was by consent with planning department conditions. And I guess as amended, removing the auto painting. 2015-86, 801 South Dallas Street was by consent.
And I think there's some planning
Yeah,
conditions.
I was gonna say with planning department
Yeah.
conditions. 2015-87, 4101 through 21 Reisterstown Road. I'm a yes.
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 2015-88, 2700 Rainer Avenue was by consent. 2015-92, 1005 East Cold Spring Lane and 4420 Kenilworth Avenue. I am a yes with the requirement that the lots be consolidated within 120 days.
How long does the process take, Dave?
Shouldn't take longer than that.
Okay.
They'll actually consolidate the lots, but they won't do the plat,
Alright.
so that may take a year,
But legally, they'll be consolidated.
Consolidated,
Yeah.
yeah. And with the condition that the applicant comply with requirements of 14306.
Yes.
Reluctant, yes. I feel for them. I would,
Me
But they're
either.
no.
Me either.
If you come out of the stream,
That's right.
Would be better if it was shrunk.
2015-93, 1 North Haven Street. I'm a yes.
I'm a yes with the condition that parking be maintained either under a lease or by purchase sufficient to support the number of office tenants or occupants there.
Yeah.
I'm a yes with that amendment or addition.
Yes. 2015-94, 1112 South Clinton Street. I'm a yes with the condition that that revised drawings be submitted reflecting the agreement reached between the parties.
Yes.
Yes.
2015-95, 3501 through 11 O'Donnell Street was postponed. 2015-96, 214 South Madeira Street was by consent. 2015-99, 3303 O'Donnell Street. I'm a yes, and thinking that Well, yeah, there wasn't really a condition attached with that, yeah.
Commentary for the record?
Yes.
Yes.
2015-102, 402 Grundy Street was by consent. Well, no, it wasn't.
No.
I'm a yes with hours of 9 to 7, Monday through Saturday. Restriction that there be no signs advertising tattooing services or identifying or otherwise identifying the availability of traditional tattooing. And with the, it's already as part of the application that it be accessory.
And, the use doesn't pass if the sale of the company.
I'm not sure how we
That
do
part
that.
I don't think that we can actually can
Yeah.
enforce that.
Accessory
Because-
use don't carry forward.
No, no.
Oh, they don't
Alright,
anyway?
so-
Okay.
So, okay, so we'll prove it as an accessory.
Accessory.
Takes care of it then.
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Yes.
And 2015-128, 808 Guilford Avenue was by consent.
Thank you guys so much.
Good luck.
Good luck.